This video did not exist in your physical reality until the exact moment you directed your focus toward it. Before you clicked, it was merely a wave of probability, waiting for a conscious observer to collapse it into your current timeline. Welcome to the awakening. Today we are going to explore a phenomenon you have experienced countless times, one that society has dismissed as a simple flaw of the human brain. We are going to reveal the profound metaphysical truth behind why you suddenly forget what you were about to say. By the end of our time together, you will no longer view yourself as a victim of a forgetful mind. Instead, you will finally understand your immense, untamed power as the ultimate creator of your reality. Tell me, have you ever felt that strange, empty sensation when a thought simply vanishes from your tongue, leaving you staring into space? That was not a mistake. That was a rescue mission. To truly comprehend what happens in these mysterious moments of forgetting, we must first build a foundation of how your reality actually operates. You do not live in a solid, unchangeable universe. You live inside a quantum field, an infinite, shimmering ocean of pure potential, where every single timeline, every conversation, and every possible outcome already exists simultaneously as a wave of probability. In this esoteric framework, you are not merely a physical body moving through time. You are the focal point of consciousness. You are the observer. And in quantum mechanics, observation is not a passive act of simply looking at things. Observation is an intensely active, creative process. The moment you direct your attention, your belief, and your vocal cords toward a specific idea, you force that infinite wave of potential to collapse into a single, solid, three-dimensional fact. Your words are the final hammer striking the anvil of creation. Let us examine the exact anatomy of a forgotten thought. You are engaged in a dialogue, the words are lining up in your mind, and you are just milliseconds away from vibrating your vocal cords to speak them into existence. Suddenly, the mental screen goes completely blank. The sentence is erased. The common reaction is frustration. You might apologize, tap your forehead, and struggle desperately to retrieve the lost words. But what if I told you that in that exact fraction of a second, your consciousness scanned the quantum trajectory of those words and saw the reality they were about to create? Your higher self realized that this specific sentence would anchor you to a timeline of lower frequency, unnecessary conflict, or lingering doubt. And so, with the precision of a master architect, it pulled the plug. The blankness in your mind is not a failure of memory. It is the protective shield of your own localized quantum field, stopping you from solidifying an unwanted reality. You must begin to view your spoken words not as mere sounds, but as geometric codes that program the matrix around you. Every single word you utter carries a specific vibrational frequency. When a thought remains in your head, it is still malleable. It is still a ghost of a possibility. But the moment you speak it out loud, you push it from the unseen realm into the physical density of the air. You give it breath, you give it life, and you declare to the universe that this is your chosen truth. If you were about to complain, criticize, or voice a deep-seated fear, you were preparing to order a reality filled with more of that exact same dense energy. Your sudden forgetfulness is the universe hitting the emergency stop button on the assembly line of your manifestation. It is an act of profound grace, a quantum intervention designed to keep your vibration aligned with your highest possible timeline. Consider the role of your subconscious mind, which acts as the ultimate guardian between the physical you and the infinite quantum field. Your conscious mind is incredibly slow. It processes only a tiny fraction of the information available in any given second. But your subconscious, connected to your higher self, processes millions of bits of data simultaneously. It sees the ripple effect of the sentence you are about to speak. It calculates how those words will affect the energetic field of the person you are talking to, how they will alter your own mood, and what chain of events they will trigger tomorrow. When it detects a misalignment between what you are about to say and the beautiful future you have been trying to manifest, it simply deletes the file before you can hit send. Your higher self forces a system reboot right in the middle of your sentence. This is the ultimate proof that you are being guided and protected at all times. Think about the concept of the timeline split. In the esoteric tradition, every choice we make branches our reality into parallel paths. When you are on the verge of speaking a reality-altering sentence, you stand precisely at the fork in the road of these timelines. One path leads toward expansion, peace, and abundance. The other path, paved with the careless words you are about to speak, leads toward limitation, regret, and low-frequency entanglement. The moment you forget what you were going to say, a literal timeline jump occurs. You have successfully bypassed the negative trajectory. The confusion you feel in that moment, the feeling of the words being right on the tip of your tongue, is the energetic friction of your consciousness shifting from one parallel reality to another. The ghost of the forgotten sentence belongs to a version of you that you just left behind. Why does the mind go so entirely blank? It feels as though a thick fog rolls into your brain, dissolving everything you held in your focus. This blankness is actually a miniature manifestation of the void. In quantum mechanics and ancient metaphysics alike, the void is the place of pure nothingness from which all creation springs. When your consciousness realizes you are about to speak a destructive reality into existence, it drops you directly into this void to cleanse your energetic palette. It wipes the blueprint clean. That emptiness you feel in your head is not a lack of intelligence. It is a temporary state of pure potential. It is the universe giving you a blank canvas because the picture you were about to paint was going to ruin the masterpiece of your life. You are literally being given a second chance to create a better moment. Let us talk about the specific danger of complaining and voicing limitations. Often, the things we suddenly forget are complaints, gossips, or self-deprecating remarks. We live in a society that bonds over shared misery. We are conditioned to relate to one another by discussing what is going wrong. But every time you complain, you are commanding the quantum field to replicate the circumstances of your complaint. You are acting as a powerful observer, focusing intensely on the lack, the pain, or the annoyance. When you are about to unleash a heavy complaint and your mind suddenly wipes it away, your consciousness has saved you from cementing that lack into your future. You were about to order a terrible meal from the kitchen of the universe, and your higher self tore up the ticket before the waiter could take it away. The famous tip of the tongue phenomenon is perhaps the most fascinating aspect of this quantum shift. You know the feeling. You know the shape of the word. You know what it means, but you simply cannot grasp the sound of it. This occurs because the energetic resonance of the word no longer matches the energetic resonance of your body in that specific second. You have literally vibrated out of range of that thought. The word belongs to a frequency of frustration, and your soul is demanding that you remain in a frequency of peace. The struggle to remember the word is just your ego fighting for control. Your ego hates to leave things unfinished. But your higher self knows that if you force yourself to remember and speak that word, you will lower your vibration to match it. The tip of the tongue is the boundary line between the reality you avoided and the reality you are currently standing in. The observer effect is not just something you do to the world, it is something that happens in the space between people. When you are speaking to someone, their quantum field is interacting with yours. Sometimes you are about to say something, and you forget it because the other person's higher self rejected the energy of your incoming words. Their field put up a shield, and your consciousness, respecting the sovereign law of the universe, dissolved the thought. This is the hidden architecture of human communication. We are constantly negotiating realities on an unseen level. If you forget your words while talking to someone, It means those words were not meant to enter the shared space between you. The universe orchestrated a mutual protection protocol to maintain the harmony of the encounter. You must begin to view these moments not as awkward pauses, but as profound synchronicities. A synchronicity is a meaningful coincidence, a wink from the universe confirming that you are on the right path. When the pause happens, it is a direct feedback loop from the quantum field. It is as if the universe is tapping you on the shoulder and whispering, "Do not say it, let it go." The problem is that we are deeply conditioned to fill every silence with noise. We feel embarrassed when we lose our train of thought. We scramble to fill the void. But if you can learn to recognize this synchronicity for what it is, you can start to use these pauses to your advantage. You can smile, take a deep breath, and silently thank your consciousness for doing its job perfectly. You can honor the pause as a sacred intervention. Consider a very real example that happens to almost everyone. You are in a heated discussion with your partner or a friend. The energy is tense, you feel a surge of defensive anger, and you formulate the perfect cutting insult in your mind. You open your mouth to deliver the blow, to win the argument, and then nothing. The thought evaporates. You stand there, mouth half open, suddenly unable to remember the devastating point you were about to make. The anger might still be in your chest, but the weapon has been removed from your hands. If you had spoken those words, you would have collapsed a reality of long-term resentment, damaged trust, and painful karmic entanglement. By erasing the thought, your consciousness saved your relationship. It forced you to step back from the edge of the cliff. Let us look at another common example. You are talking about your goals or your dreams, and suddenly you begin to explain why it might not work out. You are about to list all the logical reasons why you might fail, preparing to voice your deepest insecurities. You are about to speak your self-limiting beliefs out loud, which would instantly signal the universe to throw obstacles in your path. And then, the words disappear. You lose your train of thought entirely. This is one of the most beautiful gifts your higher self can give you. It is refusing to allow you to curse your own future. It is shutting down the manifestation of your failure. In that moment, your consciousness is reminding you that you are a creator, and it will not permit you to use your divine voice to create your own defeat. To understand why this happens, we must look at the physics of human emotion and speech. Emotion is the magnetic charge of your aura, and your spoken words are the electric charge. Together, they form an electromagnetic field that pulls physical events toward you. When your emotional state is misaligned with your true soul purpose, the electric charge of your words becomes distorted. Your higher self acts as a circuit breaker. When the electrical load of your negative or unnecessary words threatens to blow the fuses of your spiritual progress, the system trips. The power is cut to the speech center of your brain for just a few seconds. This is a brilliant, fail-safe mechanism built into your biological and spiritual design to prevent you from electrocuting your own reality. So how should you react when you find yourself in this situation? The most common and most destructive reaction is to force it. We tense up our facial muscles, we look up at the ceiling, and we say, "Hold on, it will come back to me." We put immense energetic pressure on ourselves to retrieve the garbage that the universe just took out for us. We go digging in the quantum trash can. The greatest secret I can share with you today is this: let it go immediately. Do not try to remember. Do not force the wave to collapse. When the words vanish, simply smile and say, "It must not have been important." Because the truth is, if it was aligned with your highest good, you would not have forgotten it. By letting it go effortlessly, you flow with the quantum current instead of fighting against it. When you surrender the need to remember the forgotten words, you allow a quantum course correction to take place. Imagine you are driving a car and you suddenly veer toward a ditch. The car's automatic safety system jerks the steering wheel back to the center of the lane. If you fight the steering wheel and try to jerk it back towards the ditch, you will crash. Your forgotten thought is the ditch. The blank mind is the safety system steering you back to the center. By relaxing and changing the subject, you allow the course correction to complete itself. You seamlessly merge onto the higher timeline without leaving any energetic drag behind. You become a fluid master of your reality, moving effortlessly away from hidden dangers. It is important to recognize that the desire to finish the forgotten sentence comes entirely from the human ego. The ego believes that its thoughts are supremely important. It believes that every opinion must be voiced and every sentence must be concluded. The ego is obsessed with control and continuity. But the soul operates differently. The soul is concerned only with expansion, vibration, and truth. The soul is perfectly comfortable with mystery, with sudden changes, and with silence. When you forget what you were going to say, a battle takes place between the ego, which demands to remember, and the soul, which celebrates the forgetting. To master your reality, you must align with the soul. You must learn to laugh at the ego's frustration and embrace the sudden, beautiful disruption of your thought patterns. Do not underestimate the immense power of the void that replaces your forgotten words. In that brief moment of silence, when your mind is completely empty, you are actually in a state of pure manifestation. Silence is not empty. It is full of uncollapsed answers. When you stop speaking and stop thinking for just a few seconds, you allow the universe to rush in and fill the space with a higher frequency. The silence acts as an energetic filter, purifying the space around you. Often, if you just let the forgotten thought go and sit in the quiet for a moment, a completely new, vastly superior idea will pop into your head. The universe removed the low-vibration sentence to make room for a profound realization or a word of genuine love. You must learn to trust the architecture of the silence. This phenomenon is an invitation to become the ultimate, conscious observer of your own internal dialogue. Most people speak on autopilot. They allow their subconscious programming, their traumas, and their fears to dictate the words that come out of their mouths. But you are being called to a higher standard. When your consciousness has to step in and wipe your memory to stop you from saying something, it is a gentle reminder that you need to be more mindful. It is a sign that you were speaking from habit rather than from presence. Use these moments as an alarm clock. When you lose your train of thought, wake up. Pull your awareness back into the present moment. Observe the energy you are about to project into the room and consciously choose to project something better. Become the deliberate creator of your speech. Understand that the silence you manifest in that moment creates a far better reality than the conflicted words ever could. We vastly overestimate the necessity of our words. Often, the greatest reality shifts occur not because of what we say, but because of what we consciously choose not to say. By allowing the forgetting to happen, you save your energy. You do not have to spend the next hour defending a poorly chosen word, apologizing for an insult, or fighting a self-limiting belief. You preserve your life force. That preserved energy can then be redirected toward visualizing and materializing your true desires. Every forgotten negative word is a deposit into your quantum bank account. You are accumulating the energy required to build the life you actually want to live. As you integrate this understanding, you will experience a profound shift in your identity. You will stop identifying yourself as just a physical body with a brain that sometimes makes mistakes. You will begin to experience yourself as a localized field of divine consciousness. You will realize that you are an eternal being, intimately connected to the fabric of the universe. The universe is not happening to you. It is responding to you, and more importantly, it is conspiring in your favor. This realization destroys the victim mentality. You can no longer believe that the world is out to get you when you have literal proof that your own consciousness is constantly intervening to protect you from your own missteps. You are fiercely loved and fiercely guarded by your own higher self. Let this be the ultimate takeaway from our journey today. Every forgotten word that slips away from you is a saved reality. Every blank space in your mind is a prevented disaster or a bypassed limitation. You are a master of reality, a quantum architect whose very thoughts command the cosmos. Your consciousness is so powerful and so deeply committed to your evolution that it will literally alter your brain chemistry in real time to stop you from collapsing an unwanted wave of probability. Do not be frustrated by the limits of your memory. Be absolutely in awe of the limitless protection of your soul. You are a creator, and sometimes the most powerful act of creation is the reality you unconsciously choose to erase before it even begins. But what if I told you the ultimate truth? You are not simply a person living in a physical reality. You are reality itself, observing itself into existence. You are the quantum field in human form, constantly pruning the dead branches of your timeline so that the most magnificent version of your life can bloom. The next time the words vanish from your tongue, do not fight it. Smile, take a breath, and thank the universe for stepping in. You are a conscious creator, and your silence is just as powerful as your speech. Thank you for tuning in to this transmission. If this message resonated with your soul, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like to signal the algorithm of your new vibration. To anchor this quantum shift and declare your power to the field, write the following code in the comments. I am the observer creating my reality. Now I turn to you. What strange synchronicities or sudden shifts in reality have you noticed in your life recently? Share your stories below, and let us build a community of conscious creators. Until next time, stay aware and trust the silence.